How was the day, by the way?
Yeah, it's fine. How are you?
Amazing, amazing. I did had a really great day, and I was like waiting for you. I was so enthusiastic about today to meet you. And let me tell you a little bit about Garvit. He is an IITian. He's a senior development engineer at Amazon, a software engineer at 𝗤𝗍𝗰𝗄𝗃, and he's a quite of an open source contributor. Believes in open source. So, Garvit, can you give a brief description about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, hi everyone. Very good evening to all. So my name is 𝗍𝗿𝗰𝗃. I'm a 23 graduate from 𝗤𝗍𝗰𝗃, and in terms of my work experience, I have worked as a software engineer intern at 𝗤𝗍𝗰𝗃 and Amazon. So I have basically done 6 month internship at these two companies. Apart from that, I have also mentored over 40 plus students at PlaceFit, one of the fastest growing edtech startup. And if you talk about my hobbies, I'm very passionate about mentoring. I bring the experience of mentoring over 100 plus students through sessions, through TalkMate, LinkedIn, and other social media platforms. Yeah, that's pretty much about.
Hello.
That was wonderful. You do have a quite of a very nourishing nature, though, to help the community to give back what you have gained, and you always mentor others. So you are also an IITian. If people don't know that, you're an IITian from Pune, right?
No, so yeah, college is not an IIT, it's a triple IT, Indian Institute of Information Technology.
Aye. So can you like let's start with your basic experience. Like, how was your experience till the point you are right now?
Okay, so yeah, so right now I'm graduate my college stuff, including examination and presentation. All those have been completed. So I'm very excited. So soon I'll be started working as a full-time engineer at somewhere. I mean, you'll get to know through my LinkedIn definitely. So yeah, I'm very excited, and apart from that, I feel very proud of myself that after as a fresh graduate, I carry 1 year corporate experience. So yeah, it's a very fresh and a nervous feeling as well.
It is. It's at the same time of the graduation time. You do have a quite of an experience that is very much helpful for the career. So let's start with that. Like, what do you think that if you didn't have the experience that you do have, the corporate experience, would it be easier to get into FAANG?
Yeah, I mean, as a fresher, so cracking any companies, including FAANG itself. So the curriculum is very similar. They do ask DSA and all those core subjects, but yeah, cracking having a prior experience of 6 months as a software engineer intern definitely hasn't helped me in cracking FAANG, but it has helped me in surviving those 6 months at Amazon and delivering right thing with the right quality. And yeah, I have also faced various points throughout my internship where I had worked under pressure, where deadlines were very tight. So that 6 month experience has definitely helped me in that. But yeah, definitely prior experience will definitely help you in some ways or other.
Yes. So you mean the prior experience is something very much helpful, but it's not the necessity. You don't actually required that. It's not the only way that you can get into the FAANG. Even if you're a fresher, you do have the potential, then you do have the chances to get into it, right? Yeah. So okay, let's start with a very basic one. Like, what does it mean to get into FAANG, and why is it the goal of the many aspiring engineers? Like, there are so many startups coming up these days. So, like, why still the FAANG is so much the hype in right now?
Okay, so I'll tell you like what what used to be my perspective, about FAANG when I was preparing at the time of my preparation journey. So there's I think, a very small difference that, see, I have worked both in the startup and FAANG itself, so I think I would be able to relate to it. So I think there's a small difference and a major difference that I have find out is, in a startup you get to know about technologies that they are working on, and you have to learn those and start developing something, or start developing feature, or start making some changes to the code base. But the technologies that they have decided, you have to follow that. But the difference in FAANG is, when I joined Amazon as a intern, so what they used to do is, they give you a problem statement. It can be a single line problem statement, it can be a two line problem statement, a very ambiguous problem statement. What technology you are going to use, what database you are going to use, what language you are going to use, that completely depends upon you. You have to make a sort of documentation why one thing will work, why another thing will not work. So I think this is a major difference. And the second difference, why I prefer, or people prefer going to FAANG, is, I think, obviously the CTC difference, that I think no one can ignore that. Yeah, I think these are the two major difference. And the third one is the scale at which FAANG operates, the scale at which you are making impact after going into FAANG. These are the three things that I have noticed between startup and a FAANG.
I. So definitely there is, in the big tech companies, you do have the flexibility of choosing your own path, but in the startups, like, you are kind of required to choose the path they have already decided. So you have to work in their manner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course the pay wage is going to be there, because a big name comes with that, and you get quite a big name as well. So that's why it's very much of a people's dream. So which one did you like most? Like, did you? I mean, of course, the higher, if money is not the factor, and the work culture and the working experience, if you share. So which one did you like most? Like, working in a small corporate, but you have to kind of brainstorm everything and work on a technology that is, I'm not sure, like, do they work in the new technology in the startups?
It again depends on, like, what things you are working in. It depends. I mean, it varies from team to team. But what I like about working about FAANG is the impact that I have made through 3 to 4 projects that I have done across my internship. So I would say, as an intern, I haven't at any point of my internship, I haven't feel that. Or neither my team let me feel that I'm an intern. I have always been given a task that consists of everything that is a part of a software engineering, including documentation, testing, design part, implementation, everything. So yeah, I think that's a most important thing that I like about FAANG, working at a scale level, making an impact.
Yeah. So you do make quite a big impact when you're working with a big tech
Henry
company.
and Garvit,
Yes.
I would like to interrupt. Actually, we have to conduct it in English, so add like Hindi also in the meeting so that people can get more understanding of the event. Okay, so हिंदी में
Yeah.
continue
Sure.
करते हैं
Sure.
अब. Okay.
ठीक है.
Sure.
So अभी जब फैंग के बारे में हम बात कर ही रहे हैं, तो क्या आप वो एक्सपीरियंस बता सकते हो कि आपके एक्सपीरियंस से या फिर आपके नॉलेज से, व्हाट आर द की स्किल्स रिक्वायर्ड टू गेट इन द फैंग एज अ फ्रेशर?
Yeah. So I think, as a fresher, there's a very I think very specific skills जो जो कि I think in general सारी companies को crack करने के लिए required होते हैं. Data structures and algorithm, again OOPS and operating system, goal subject, database management, computer network. And apart from that, कुछ companies, they do ask puzzle aptitude भी पूछते हैं in their OA online assessment round. So I think yeah, as a fresher, ये जो 6 things हैं, these 6 things are plays a major role in cracking any technical interview.
Yeah. So these skills are like basis with basics with जो आपने of course जो college में आपने degree के साथ पढ़ी है data structure और वो सब, because those all are the core concepts. So also can you share your personal journey of getting hired into the Amazon company and all the challenge that you faced along, like apply कैसे किया, इसके बारे में पता कैसे चला, और एक और चीज जैसे कि एक बहुत ही hyped up चीज होती है लोगों के मन में कि if you want to go into the big tech company, you need a referral. That's something I have heard into the quite of the students that I've heard around. So जरा अपने experience के बारे में बताना और ये चीज के बारे में भी एक बार बताना. आप क्या सोचते हो?
So in last year, I mean around May 2022 में I have joined 𝗬𝗍𝗰𝗃𝗍 as a software engineer. So at that point of time, I almost left practicing DSA, so data structure algorithm for practice बिल्कुल छोड़ दिया. But I was in touch, so I not regularly but weekly I used to revise things. And getting coming to the how I got an opportunity. So Amazon visited our campus. So Amazon हम लोगों के campus में आई थी. So like cracking an Amazon consists of 2 rounds. I think एक तो OA was the online assessment round, and the second one was the technical interview. So the major challenge I think was to be in touch with DSA, because I think it's a very in a corporate world, in a private world, you don't know when you can be laid off due to due to various number of reasons. It can be due to budget issues, so you have to be in touch with DSA and all those stuff. So yeah, I was in touch, and yeah, so I cracked Amazon nearly around August of 2022.
So for you, it was quite a like on-campus thing.
Yeah.
So during your experience during like intern time, क्या आपके टीम में या फिर आपके कोई colleagues ऐसे थे जो off campus आए हो but as an intern like freshman?
So as an intern, at least मेरी टीम में तो I don't know whether anyone has been converted from an internship, but हाँ full time there are a lot of folks in my team जो off campus आए, so they have applied off campus even without referral, and some of them have applied through referral. So I think applying through referral might be having an upper edge over not applying applying without referral. But again, I think referral does not guarantee you a OA link, test link. So yeah, referral उतना matter नहीं करता, but all you need to have is a good resume.
Yeah, you require to have you need to work on your skills rather than only working for and looking for the referral. But if you do have a referral, it's a quite of a good thing. It will give you an up boost than other candidates, of course. And it in your experience, you also show that like there was people from the off campus as well. So it's not only that only and only if your company comes in your campus, then only you can get the job. You can get it anyway as well, if you do have that.
Yeah, if you do have right set of skills, and if you have that will to crack good companies. I think off campus, on campus doesn't matter. In our team, I think many team we do have some IT and we do have NI people from NIT. We do have people from tier 3 college as well. And at the end of the day, they all are working on the same team,
same project, same team. So it's like once you get in the industry, it doesn't matter like where you came from. It's only matter like what do you work on. Can you also talk about like how was your placement experience, like the interview rounds? What are the rounds? It was even if it was on campus.
So for on campus, so my interview was for an internship. So I think As compared to full-time internship, interview is little bit on a easier side. So yeah, so first round was an online assessment round where we have to solve, I think, 2 to 3 DSA questions, and apart from that, we do have some questions जो related थे Amazon के leadership principle, because I think Amazon highly relies on the Amazon 14 leadership principle. So हम लोगों को like I think 40 to 50 MCQ type questions were related to Amazon leadership principle. So that was a part
Okay.
of online assessment. Apart from that, I had a one technical interview. So technical interview may I think 2 to 3 DSA question they have asked me, and since it was a 1 hour interview and we have completed questions before 50 minutes, so in the last 10 minutes they have discussed about my projects and like my prior internship experience.
And after that, was there any after the technical round? How did you get to know, like, your university told you or something? There was another round or something?
No, so I think there was a round HR round, but I think in internship they didn't conducted any HR round. So yeah, these were two only major rounds, OA and technical round. And after that, yeah,
Mhm.
I received a mail from institute that these number of students are selected for an internship at MSc.
Mm. And what about the placement? Like, till the time you were working in the Amazon, अपने आजू बाजू में आपने देखा होगा कि जो आपके colleagues वगैरह हैं, is it usual that after the internship you most probably do get the job or something like that? The chances of
Yeah.
getting the job?
Yeah, so in fact, I believe that converting a full-time role from internship is a bit easier as compared to cracking directly full-time. Okay, internship में you get a chance to work on their system, right? First thing, and
Yes.
the second advantage is कि when you join as a fresh graduate at any company like Amazon or any any company service based or product based, so you have to start from scratch. Like आप लोग version control सीख रहे होंगे, GitHub, आप लोग नई लैंग्वेज सीख रहे होंगे, आप लोग AWS सर्विसेज सीख रहे होंगे, बट यू हैव इफ यू हैव डन इंटर्नशिप, तो ये जो आई थिंक बेसिक फाउंडेशन वाली चीजें हैं वो आपको पहले से पता होगा, सो यू विल बी इट विल बी वेरी इजियर फॉर यू टू यू नो to adapt the environment of the company you are in. So I think internship definitely helps, and yeah, if you are delivering right thing and if you are completing each and every task that you are assigned, I think yeah, full time conversion ho jata hai internship.
So if you work right, if you had a good experience during your internship time, the chances is very, very high to get into the full time.
Yeah.
Yes. And so what strategies or the step can individual take to enhance their chances of getting hired by the FAANG companies? Let's suppose as the off campus, what strategies and steps should individual take?
I think there are two ways to apply to any company, considering it as a fan. As you have told कि हम लोग रेफरल ले सकते हैं या फिर डायरेक्टली करियर पोर्टल पे अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. But the other option that I have frequently seeing on LinkedIn, कि people are designing or formatting their LinkedIn profile in such a way कि recruiters from FAANG, even a good product based companies and good service based companies are directly approaching to them. So I think it's good to have a good LinkedIn profile, and I mean keep your LinkedIn profile up to date. आपका जो भी एक्सपीरियंस है, योर कॉलेज, वट एवर प्रोजेक्ट्स यू हैव वर्कड ऑन, सब कुछ लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल पर अपडेट रखो. So there are high chances कि recruiter might reach out to you.
The having a good LinkedIn is also helps. Like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I personally have seen many people like they have done a fabulous job in their career. They have a really good resume, but their LinkedIn is kind of really bad. They're kind of dead on the LinkedIn. Perhaps they don't understand the power of the LinkedIn and the power of the connections that they can build and reach. and all the possibilities that they might have if having a good LinkedIn. It's like having your own digital resume, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. In fact, I would not name the company, but some recruiters have also, approached me. But since, so to be honest, they were offering me a less CTC than what I was having right now. So yeah, so that was the issue. Otherwise, I think yeah, you will get ample number of opportunities through LinkedIn itself. So I think start spending half an hour a day on LinkedIn instead of Instagram or Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook, of course. Something productive if you wanna, if you're really serious about your career, have start spending a bit of the time and energy on the LinkedIn rather than spending on the Instagram. And as you speak from your personal experience, that the recruiters directly do approach for you if you do have quite of a good LinkedIn. So it's basically like your resume. You're showing everyone that what you have done, what you are capable of.
Yeah.
So let's go a bit more technical here, and like the importance of the strong foundation in the data structure and the algorithm. I'm talking about specifically for the interview. Like even if you're not working in that required field, they usually ask these kind of questions related to it?
Which kind of questions?
The data structure and algorithm. It's definitely gonna be in the interview.
For a fresh graduate, I would say in fact, not for fresh graduates, even for 1 or 2 year experience person, data structure is something ki wo log definitely they'll ask. Apart from that, as you start gaining experience as a full time, so intern experience doesn't count. So I mean, companies do not count intern experience, but yeah. So as a full time, as start gaining experience, so system design, low level design, high level design will also play a vital role in your interview. But I think data structures and algorithm is the basic foundation, and they ask. I mean, product or service based. I don't have any much idea, but product based companies they do ask data structures and algorithms.
All of them. So this is something like you have to have in your study bucket if you're really serious about it, because it's going to be definitely going to be in that. So yeah. What does the relevant work experience plays the role in the internships or the hiring process for that matter in a FAANG companies? Like, do you need to have the relevant experience, such as if you're applying for the software, a coder or programmer, and you do not belong or you don't have the experience in that particular domain, but you do have in the different domain. So how important is that, having the experience in the particular domain?
So I think if you see 100 people around you, you'll find 95 to 97 people will be from the similar domain. But वो 2-3 लोग you will find कि they have switched from. Even I have seen people switching from this bio domain to this tech domain, and economy domain and to this tech domain. Even I would say I have seen one manager not in our team, but in Amazon, who has not from a technical domain, but currently he has a 12 plus year of experience in Amazon itself. So he has started from internship and now he's a software development manager. So it doesn't matter. So what all matter is how well you are prepared and आप interview कितना अच्छे से दे रहे हैं, and whether you are able to crack that particular opportunity or not.
I see. And then what about having a degree, like having a computer science degree from the top university? Of course, it will help you into FAANG, but if you don't have one, does the having certifications, like we see numbers of platforms that provide certification nowadays. I certainly wouldn't take a name, but I have a really bad urge to mention like Coursera and Internshala. They provide all these sorts of internship certificates, not the internship, certificates, and they promise that it really helps you to get the internship. So from your experience, did you find like the certification that you do have is matters?
So I'm assuming you are not comparing degree with certification. So degree is something different. So
Different,
definitely,
yes.
if you are having a degree from IIT, triple IT, or NIT, it will definitely help you. And the one way it can help you, it like for those campuses, company campus visit करती है. But I have seen people from BCA, and even from BSc cracking FAANG companies. So that's not like a degree matter. Again, like skills do matters over degree. And apart from that, the certification helps at at some certain level, but I don't think the certification do help a lot. So consider if I have a certification saying कि I have done DSA course 6 months का मैंने course किया from this and this platform, but an interviewer asked me 2 questions from DSA and मैं वो solve नहीं कर पाया, then I don't think he will consider certification over that actual interview. So certification help, but again like skills help over both degree and certification.
So a certification helps. Certifications only demonstrate that you do have the particular skills, but you have to prove that in the interview by answering the question or giving the correct way of giving the interview. So for you, did you had any sort of certification that you mentioned, or did they ask about any certification in the interview, even it was on campus? Like, is it worth mentioning that?
Yeah, I think so. There is a different ways you can craft your resume. So if you have ample number of achievements, if you have good projects, good experience, no need to put your certification over your resume. But if you do not have those numbers in achievements or projects or prior experience, then you can mention. But in my case, I don't have any certification from any of the existing platform. So yeah, what even for core subjects, all the core subjects I have learned from YouTube free resources, articles on GFG.
So it's not something really necessary. It just demonstrates. So if you can prove it another way, if you can prove it in your own way, तो आपको उसके certificate की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. आपको you don't need to waste the thousands of dollars to buy the certificate that the certain platform do offer. The only thing is required that you do have a skill, and you can get that from the free resources such as like YouTube. And by the way, now that you have mentioned about the resources, like what were your or go time, like what are the resources that you use to prepare for the interview, and how would you recommend someone to prepare for the interview specifically?
Okay, so I think if I talk about my journey, so mostly I have learned stuff from YouTube. So yeah, I can recommend some channel. Maybe you can see Take You For. There are a lot of videos on similar topics. So you can prefer anyone like which can help you understand things better. And apart from that, agar aapko, like if you have a habit of reading, then you can definitely prefer GFG article. Those articles are the best. And yeah, so for interview, I think two things that has helped me in cracking, all the multiple companies. The first thing is कि मैंने mock interviews काफी दिए. So mock interviews help me, in getting feedback from the interview. So mock interview, I used to approach people on LinkedIn. If you have time on this weekend, can we have a mock interview? Maybe of 30 or 45 minutes. So mock interview काफी दिए. And second, so whenever you prepare for a placement, so आप लोग in general preparation कर रहे होंगे. But when you are applying for a company, say Amazon, so I have preferred कि 2 or 3 weeks before, whatever interview I'm appearing for, whatever company I'm appearing for. So I used to read GFG interview experience. तो उससे आइडिया लगता था कि okay, so Amazon has asked these, so Amazon pattern of asking question is this and this in the past 3 years. Microsoft pattern is this. So yeah, I think these two things have helped me a lot, mock interview and interview experience.
Mm. And I remember that you mentioned about something that when you giving the quiz for your placement, there was you mentioned that around 40 questions was from the leadership. So how many questions was there? Like 100 or something?
So I think those leadership questions are not something you need to prepare before. But as I told ki Amazon in and out, relies on their leadership principle very much. So just like when I was doing my project in my internship, so when I used to demonstrate my project, when I used to give demo or whatever things I have done, so I have seen ki, what senior manager or manager looks for is ki how well you have integrated Amazon leadership principle into your project, say customer obsession. So आपने customer के point of view से कितना कैसे सोचा, insist on higher standards. So आप code quality कितने code quality को किस standard पर maintain करें. So these things are something you don't need to prepare. But yeah, if you once give a read of those 14 leadership principles, so you can answer all those questions. I think 40 to 50 questions होते हैं. You can easily answer those questions.
So in total, like what kind of other questions you have? Like, of course, you have the technical questions that is going to primarily based on your technical knowledge. But what other kinds of questions that can you expect?
In an interview, right?
Yes.
So yeah, apart from technical, so some companies, even Amazon, जब आप full time के लिए apply कर रहे होंगे, you'll be having a, I think, manager round or a round based on this leadership principle only. So apart from technical question, you can expect behavioral question. Behavioral question. So suppose they might ask you ki, so suppose you are given a project with a tight deadline. So and you have multiple tasks in your hand. So how will you approach those tasks and project? So behavioral question they might ask you just to check whether like only just to check your soft skills, because technical skills I think will help you in clearing an interview, but both technical and soft skills will help you in surviving in any company.
So other than the technical skills, you also require the soft skills, and that consists of your verbal, writing, and all the other things that you have learned probably in the university, most probably.
That's not a primary thing, but it's good to have. So communication and writing is something that they do not judge. I think they do not judge in an interview, but communication matters. But again, it is a secondary thing. The primary is only technical skills.
I see. I did thought that it will be quite a different way, because like as you mentioned that when you were working with the Amazon, you had to document everything. So everything that you did, why it worked and why it didn't, and what was the case. I presume like they create a ticket and they write the description of it, so it will be useful for the next time, right? Something like that. That's why they required all the soft skills, so in order to help for the future reference as well. So now let's talk about, like, because all these things was, some of our viewers might consider that some of all these things were easy for you because that was, you already had the experience. So how was the first time you get the job, or the first time you give the interview? How was that? Like, what was the idea behind it? Like, how did you get your first interview?
Okay, so in the first interview, I think it was of 𝗍𝗿𝗰𝗃. That is also visited our campus. So So my first interview was for 𝗍𝗿𝗰𝗃. But if I talk about first time appearing for any technical assessment, I failed it very badly due to not able to manage time properly in online assessment. But yeah, if I talk about interview, I think first interview was full of nervousness and excitement. Excitement of getting first corporate job, and nervousness since that was my first interview. So yeah, I mean it went well, although it doesn't give the fruitful results, but it went well. And so slowly I started giving more number of interviews, and that's where my confidence built up. And in May 2022, I cracked first company, then in June, and in August, my third company.
So you appeared for your first interview, wasn't that quite a few, when you were the third year?
Yeah, third year, even semester.
Third year even semester. So you didn't wait it for like the final year, like most people do it for like, I will give the at the end of my graduation. How did you manage though? Like, how did you manage your working and your education at the same time?
So my previous company was having a work from home. So it was a remote internship. So I started attending college lectures. So I know like the subject that they are teaching, I have already prepared for an interview. So let's skip the lecture. So in a daytime, I used to give 6 to 7 hours to my work, office work. And after my office work, I used to spend 1.5 hours just to get gist of what things are currently going on in college. And during examination, I used to take 2 to 3 days of leave. So yeah, I think that like in the first internship, that's how I managed my college and office work.
Sounds quite a tough. Like you really did well managing them at the same time. And do you think like if it wouldn't have the remote work, would it be the possible? Would have you done it like from your experience? What do you think?
Uh,
If your first internship wasn't a remote work, if it was a physical, what have you done that? Like what
yeah.
would your like mental thought at that time? You would.
I think I missed your question. Can you repeat your question?
I asked you, like, do you think if your first job that you did, it was a remote, right? It was a remote job. So if it wasn't a remote job, if it wasn't from work from home, would you have still considered it?
Yeah, at that point of time, I would have still considered that, but I think that would have, almost destroyed my chances of getting into FAANG. And the reason being, college only provides 6 months of NOC. So I would have taken NOC in my first job, and the second, this Amazon internship, I would not be able to, I would have not been able to, sit for the Amazon
The
placement.
second one. So
Yeah.
what would you recommend someone who is at the position that they do want to take the internship, but it will happen same with them because the university will only provide 6 months internship. So should they skip the physical internship and wait for the fourth year to in a hope that FAANG companies will make come? Like what would you recommend someone that who are at that position? Should they skip the third year internship or should they go for it?
I think if they have a summer intern, so I think they can definitely prefer on-site internship or on-site job as well, because yeah, summer we do have summer holidays after the third year, even semester. But if I would have, at this position where I was getting a on-site internship, so I would have preferred, like I would have clearly compared, like what is the, what company is, and whether sacrificing that NOC for that company at the cost of upcoming opportunities. So I would have calculated all those factors, then I would have taken decision. But yeah, I definitely prefer if you are getting a chance to do an internship at the early age. Before you graduate. So yeah, please prefer that. And if you think if you have a right potential, if you have right set of skills, then yeah, you can avoid on-site just to keep your NOC safe. Yeah, and prepare for your dream company, I would say.
Prepare for it. Like, yeah. And as it was a remote job, like most people do desire the remote job because they think they can manage, they might be able to manage their job and their education at the same time if it's a remote job. So how did you found your first remote job anyway, by the way?
Okay, so I'll first remote job in terms of learning, it was a good experience, but I would say in person, connecting with your seniors, your manager, in person learning, in person, design talk discussion is far better than remote. If you have a remote job, I don't know like how others feel, but at some point of time I started, I was feeling very bored. I just opened my laptop at 10 a.m. and I used to connect with people on Slack and Google Meet. But I think on-site learning you can't compare with remote learning. On-site discussion, on-site session, on-site connections are far better.
I mean, on the on-site, like when you actually working with the people, when you actually collaborating with them, you get the experience, like the real life experience that you can't really possibly get on the internet, like on the remote job. It teaches you all the good thing that happen and all the bad thing, like what are the other possible ways. But on the remote job, I feel like on the remote job, it's not quite like that. Like people hesitate to tell you more than they should.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely on site you don't have to. One thing about if you are a fresh graduate, especially. So one thing that I like about on site is you don't have to wait for someone's reply on Slack, on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I need to understand this thing. So can you explain me? So on site you just take your laptop and go to his or her desk and ask whenever you are free, just give me 5 to 10 minutes. We will discuss these stuff on whiteboard. So I think in terms of time saving, also on sites are better.
Yeah, it's quite frustrating. Like even for the like very little thing, you have to email them and you have to wait for like they will read the email, then they will respond to it. If they haven't properly understood, they will ask for it feedback, and they will now you will re-explain the problem, and all the things just goes back and forth. It's much more preferable in the physical mode. So apart from like having the getting it into it, what was the way that how did you found the job? Like how did you apply for it?
As I told ki Amazon was off campus. So apart from that, I have cracked one more company which is Moingage. So I have cracked that company off campus. So and how did I apply for that is I think they were hiring through some contest, I think GFG or courtship contest. So yeah, I had given that contest and I was among top 100 scorer. So they reached out to me for scheduling an interview, and yeah, so that's how I applied for off campus.
So all this like competitive coding platform, they also do really matches. Like the recruiters do reach out to you, or if you do have a good profile, though.
Yeah, nowadays, contest. Many companies have started hiring through contest, so that's also a good option to apply through off campus.
And apart from that, like और कौन से platform हो सकते that that you would recommend someone when they're applying for it? Of course, there is LinkedIn, but in LinkedIn you quite have to wait for the people to reach out to you, or otherwise you will do the cold messages, or if there is a job posting. But apart from the LinkedIn, what are the other platforms that you personally like and you would recommend someone to for the job application for the fresher, of course?
So I think for me the one of the best option to crack off campus is through LinkedIn itself. So as you have mentioned कि हम लोगों को cold mail करना पड़ता है and we have to wait for their reply. So that's where I have mentioned कि you need to have a good profile. You need to be active
Profile.
on LinkedIn. So if you are active on LinkedIn, then your profile will have some reach. So I mean, there are high chances that you will get a reply. And if you are not getting a reply, the second way is to directly applying on career site, different companies career site. And apart from that, you can apply through referral. And yeah, contest is again. I think apart from LinkedIn, contest has helped me a lot in both preparation and uh, getting to getting many opportunities off campus. So you can apply to many companies through a single contest. Many company you will see many companies are hiring, so you can apply all of them like relevant whichever company is offering a relevant job. So you can apply for that. And yeah, I think that's all. If you are also not asking for a referral on LinkedIn, be active on LinkedIn. There are various various internal opening that people post that my team is hiring for such and such position. So you
Mm.
might get an opportunity from there as well.
Yes, that's kind of true. Like, yeah, I have also seen that having a really good resume is really a great thing. And the secondary, like, you can directly keep an eye on the whatever company that you're looking for, and on their career page whenever they have the applications going on, they're hiring the applicants. That is also the best way. Okay, so there is one question that came from the chat. I'll take it. Which level DSA question is asked? Like array, LinkedIn list, only, or they people go in deep in the graph and the dynamic programming? Okay, so this is the question, something like, seems like interview question.
Yeah. So, so in terms of specific data structure, so it's not like a specific company will ask from a specific set of data structure. It again, depends on interviewer to interviewer. But if we specifically talk about Amazon, so I think Amazon loves dynamic programming. So I'm saying this because I have seen. I mean, I have connected with my batchmates, my friends from another college. Most of them, at least from OA to interview, they have been asked, a single DP question. Apart from that, which level? Yeah. So if you talk about level, so usually in an 1 hour interview, companies tend to ask two medium level questions, and yeah, I think two medium level questions. And you don't need to I think accept. I mean, there are few exceptions. Certain companies ask advanced data structure like try segmenting, but in general, if I talk about Amazon, then Microsoft and all those companies also, you don't need to go getting very deep till this try segmenting. Give tree graph DP till DP, I think, yeah, it's sufficient.
I see, I see. So mostly they go for the intermediate level, and they don't they do kind of ask very technical questions. But as you know, when someone is giving an interview, they tend to really stressed out. So they forget the things even they do know really, really good, but because of the interview stress, they forget things, they kind of get nervous and all that. So if something that happens, do in interview, are you allowed to ask for the another question? Like if someone give you one question, but you don't really quite understand the question, you ask for the clarification, or you might ask for the another question?
No, I don't think I mean, in my opinion, I haven't seen any case till now. But you should avoid doing this until unless interviewer from from his or her side is giving you another question because you didn't understand that question well. But I will prefer ki try to understand that question even if you take 5 to 7 minutes more. And if you are unable to understand on your own, ask interviewer ki I am unable to understand this question. Can you help me in understanding, question step by step? So yeah, definitely interviewer will help you out in that case.
So it's not about to get nervous. Like if you don't understand the question, you can ask for the clarification. They will clarify the questions much more. Yeah, it's a very common thing that to get really nervous in the interview, and you tend to forget all the things that you have prepared, but at the last you forgetting at the same thing. The interviewer who is interviewing you, it's his job to hire you, and at the same time you are there to show whatever you have done.
Yeah, I think if someone is still, if someone is feeling nervous in an interview, I would suggest ki whenever, like after my first interview, whenever I used to appear for an interview, I used to think ki interviewer is here to hire me. Rest of the things depends on me. अगर मैं nervous हुआ तो it will give a very bad impression. And the interviewer has done his part. Now it's only me. I have to do my part. So yeah, I think interviewer is there to help you out in case you are stuck somewhere. So it's not. Don't be nervous. Be confident and explain whatever you are thinking.
So don't get nervous. Like at the end of the time, he is doing his job, and you are there to do your part of the work. He has done yours. Now it's your time to demonstrate what you are capable of.
Yeah.
So with that, we would like to wrap up the today's session. Like, but before going, like, what are the recommendations would you give someone who is appearing for the interview, or who might be in the third year or in the second year? What are the recommendations you would give to them from your journey that you have faced? And if you may go back, what are the things that you would have avoided?
Okay, so definitely one thing that I would have avoided is ki I would have continued practicing DSA. So currently I am not in touch with DSA from past 1 year. So I feel ki not regularly, not daily, or at least weekly. If I would have done DSA, if I would have practiced DSA, then I would have continued my journey with DSA because again I have told you ki if you are at X company, so your expectations will be more than X. So you are always ready to apply for the company offering you a good position, good pay. So I would have preferred to be in touch with TSA. And for third year graduates, I think for 2023 graduate at least, one suggestion is ki at least have a backup offer, and don't be just go around your dream company कि अगर dream नहीं निकला तो और कोई कहीं नहीं जाऊंगा. Just have a backup offer because it's a very hard time for all of us. It's a recession time, so have a backup offer and keep practicing hard for your dream company.
That was a really good suggestion, by the way. That people tends to usually forget. They focus so much that they forget to have any backup option, and if they don't get it, there's like no way going back, because you have spent all your time and energy of doing the one particular thing that you didn't succeed right now. In the future, you may will, but you didn't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
People usually, I would like to, with that, I would like to thank you for coming on the show, Garvit. It was really lovely to talk to you, and you shared your experience and explained the people about the culture, the work culture, and how to apply for the job. It was so sweet and nice of you to explain your journey and had to talk with our viewers. I really liked talking with you, and I'd really like to have you on the show on the next time again. It was very nice of you to coming on the show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Andy, and thank you, PracEdge, for inviting me for this wonderful session. Yeah, looking forward to more sessions in future.
Thank you very much. If you do want to mention your LinkedIn or any social media that you want to, you might right now. if some of the viewers, like, they might be tempted to reach out to you or to contact you. So is there any social media where they can connect with you, such as Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter?
Yeah, I think I would prefer to give my LinkedIn profile. So yeah, I have given a, yeah, I have pasted my LinkedIn profile in the chat section. Maybe if you are, watching my stream, you can paste this LinkedIn profile on YouTube chat section.
Yes, surely, surely. So if any of you want to have any questions and want to connect with Garvit, we'll post the link, his LinkedIn ID in the description box, and you can contact him from there. And thank you very much again. Thank you very much, Garvit. It was really lovely of you coming, and I really enjoyed the talking with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.